As Cameroon's ruling CPDM militants celebrate Paul Biya's 42nd year rule, one must ask, what precisely is there to celebrate? In the heart of southern Cameroonians, particularly in cities like Bamenda that you saw there, this celebration becomes not only a mockery of the life lost under Biya's regime, but also a deeply hypocritical exercise that spits in the face of those fighting for true liberation. How can the elites, men and women who claim to understand the hardships of their people, find themselves endorsing a regime that has ignored and brutalized them for decades? Biya, 92 years old and in power since 1982, that is, if he's still alive, has achieved nothing tangible for the people of the southern Cameroons. In fact, he is leaving the southern Cameroons worse than he met it. This is not a hyperbole, it's a fact. As far as the southern Cameroons is concerned, the Biya regime has only a legacy of neglect and devastation. The reason why we are at war for 8 years and counting. Yet, he finds leads in the very communities Paul Biya has destroyed, celebrating his rule and punctuating it with calls for yet another term in office. What drives such behavior? Is it fear, opportunism, or simply an utter disregard for the lives of the people they claim to serve? Imagine the scene. Crowds gather in so-called Congress Hall, Bamenda, a city left in ruins by Biya's regime, with pothole-ridden roads and minimal public infrastructure, gathering to cheer the man responsible for their own suffering. For 8 long years, Biya has refused to engage the very people in any dialogue with southern Cameroonians and has instead turned his military against civilians. Villages burned, thousands of lives lost and countless people displaced. These are Biya's contributions to life in the southern Cameroons, nothing else, zero. To celebrate him is to spit on the graves of those who have fallen victim to his oppressive rule. The elites of the southern Cameroons who organize and attend these celebrations demonstrate a dangerous insensitivity to the pride of the people. Do they not remember the women and children forced to flee their homes? Do they forget the soldiers who parade through their communities, instilling fear and squashing dissent with violence? By organizing these events, these so-called leaders or elite have effectively turned their backs on the very people they ought to be defending. Paul Biya's 42 years in power can be summed up in a single word: stagnation. His reign has not brought progress, but regression. Bamenda, once a vibrant city, now resembles a shadow of its former self. Roads are in disrepair, basic amenities are scarce, and the hospitals are ill-equipped. The city's youth are left without jobs or opportunities as joblessness grows and economic prospects diminish. If Biya's leadership were measured by tangible improvements, there would be nothing to celebrate. The harsh reality is that under Paul Biya, Anglophone regions, as they call it, have been systematically deprived, while resources are allocated glaring. Yet these elites choose to ignore it. Their loyalty to Paul Biya is not a reflection of genuine support, but rather a testament to their betrayal of the southern Cameroonians. Celebration of Paul Biya's tenure is not just an exercise in futility, but also an attempt to rewrite history. By gathering in support of Biya, these elites hope to create an image that Southern Cameroonians still believe in his regime and authority. Nothing can be further from the truth. This is a calculated move to mislead international observers, suggesting that there is unity under Paul Biya's rule. But the reality on the ground is far different. Ambazonians have resisted, protested, and sacrificed their lives to end Biya's oppression. No stage celebration can obscure this truth. It is critical to remember that Biya's regime has done everything possible to suppress the Ambazonian spirit. The people of the southern Cameroons are resilient. They have risen against the odds and continue to demand their freedom. The elite who organize these celebrations are not representatives of the people. They are in a tiny minority. They are puppets in the political theater, desperately trying to appease a leader who has nothing to offer but continual repression. For these elites who stand by Paul Biya, they are reminded that a day of reckoning is inevitable. The people of the southern Cameroons will not forget the betrayal of those who choose to align themselves with a tyrant. When Amazonia finally attains its freedom, history will remember those who stood on the wrong side. There will be no excuse for supporting a leader who has oppressed and disregarded his people for so long. The reality is clear. Paul Biya has nothing left to offer, and those who cling to his rule are complicit in the suffering he has caused. The elites who continue to sing his praises, take heed. Your loyalty to this regime will not be forgotten, and the people will hold you accountable. Ambazonia's freedom is inevitable, and with it will come a reckoning for those who choose power over principle, who choose wealth over integrity, and who choose comfort over justice. In the end, these celebrations are hollow, empty of genuine achievement and void of purpose. They serve only to highlight the deep divisions and the immense challenges that remain for southern Cameroons. For the true sons and daughters of Amazonia, Biya's rule is a period of darkness, pure darkness. Those who organize these gatherings may believe they are winning favor with the regime, but in reality, they have sealed their place in history as traitors to their own people. In Amazonia, the call for freedom cannot be silenced. The resilience of its people, their courage and their determination will continue to prevail. For those who celebrate Biya's legacy, remember that the world is watching, and so too are the people of the southern Cameroons. The cries for justice, for freedom, and for dignity will drown out the songs of celebration. Amazonia will rise, whether the elite they like it or not.